Consider this a rare moment, but I have now started a series of great television. Terrific television, I should say. What makes television terrific? The captivating stories, the elite characters, the ability to connect with you, cartoons, live action, reality, movies, etc. All of that and more as I welcome you to the first installment of Terrific Television. What better way to kick off the first ever Terrific Television than with Band Geeks from SpongeBob? The episode starts off with Squidward playing his clarinet when he hears a knock at the door. The doctors from across the street tell him that he has a dying animal on the premises. We're 15 seconds into the episode, I'm already laughing. Squidward then hears his phone ring, and it's none other than Squilliam Fancy Son. Squilliam and Squidward exchange insults, and Squidward promises that his band will play at the Bubble Bowl. This is what makes a really great episode, a plot that builds correctly in the matter of minutes. So Squidward decides to give all of the people he knows an invitation to his band meeting. We get a helpful montage of all of them getting invitations with some jokes thrown in there. Squidward inquires at his band meeting with some practice. They all make noises and start murmuring and eventually settle down. Squidward asks if they know how to play any instruments. Plankton asks if instruments of torture count, and if that wasn't funny enough, then Patrick says a legendary quote asking if mayonnaise is an instrument. This is how you correctly insert jokes into details of the plot. Unlike that double C crappy cartoon episode of SpongeBob, The Clash of Triton, the jokes weren't correctly filed into the plot cabinet. Instead, we had an unusually awkward series of jokes backfiring from the timing. If there is one thing about jokes, it is timing. So, since they are all unexperienced at their instrument playing, Squidward decides to train them by the days. Day 1, they all fail at the instrument playing. The drummers blow the drumsticks like they were clarinets. Also, Sandy and Patrick get into a classic fight because of some kicking misunderstanding, which leads to Sandy shoving a trombone into Patrick. Day 2, the band practicing is a march, but Squidward's aggressive instructing leads to two of the flag twirlers flying and crashing into a blimp. After that, we get a hilarious moment of silence by the bandmates to honor those two flag twirlers who died crashing into a blimp. This was a special charm that a show that I thought could never be extinguished, but it seems like the fire was too big, and then we got episodes like Penny Foolish and A Pal for Gary. Enough of the negativity, here's Day 3. Day 3, Plankton is hilariously practicing his harmonica solo when he finally passes out from moving from pipe to pipe. In Day 4, the last day of band practice, Squidward suggests that people who want to act smart are loud. Plankton shouts, "Correct!" Just some really legendary quotes in this episode. But after the whole band shatters the glass from the building, literally, Squidward suggests that they play quietly. A fish named Harold then insults Mr. Krabs for playing with big, meaty claws, which turns into a humorous brawl between the entire bandmates. Squidward tries to be the pacifist, but leaves the room when it gets too intense. He then breaks down in front of the bandmates, telling them how disappointed he was in them and walking away crying. SpongeBob then agrees with Squidward. He tells the bandmates that they should perform the Bubble Bowl for Squidward's sake, even though Squidward never really did anything for them, which this scene was turned into an amazingly funny build-up. SpongeBob still wants to do this for Squidward, and he gets everybody else rallied up to do it for Squidward. I really miss when this show had the funny and touching moments inflicted into the episodes. "Yeah, for the firemen!" Once again, another classic line from the fish, Harold. Squidward then sadly shows up to the Bubble Bowl to tell Squidward that his band died in a marching accident. But the bandmates show up, dressed up and all, and are ready to perform. We cut to the football stadium where real-life humans are watching the fish play the Bubble Bowl. Squidward nervously begins to tell the bandmates to play. He tells them, and trumpets start playing. What you're about to witness is possibly the greatest song performance in cartoon history. The chords to Sweet Victory chime, and Squidward is blown away, as is Squilliam, who presumably has a heart attack. The episode ends beautifully, with Squidward jumping happily in the air. Okay, this episode is the most popular SpongeBob episode of all time. It isn't the most favorite, which was decided by a poll online, which this episode lost secondly to Chocolate with Nuts. But this episode is one of the greatest episodes of any show ever. This concludes the first annual edition of Terrific Television. See you next time when I talk about the cancellation of Honey Boo Boo. See you later.